Right.
Okay. Right.
Right. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Slice of Fried Gold.
Yep.
For the record, I'm Paddy.
I'm Ben.
If you're joining us for the first time, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends and everybody else that you know. So I said subscribe. Comment down below.
There we go.
There we go. It's because I was thinking of Spotify, which is an S.
Yeah.
If you are listening on Spotify, give us a 5-star review and comment down below as well on
Nice
this week's
segue
topics.
to Spotify. Well done.
I know. I have my moments.
A segue by messing up. Well done.
Yeah. Classic Paddy. Classic Paddy. So
how are you? Start with you this time. For once.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, I'm good. As you well know from the group chat, we had a slight iffy day on Sunday through a KP dropping nearly 10 litres of gravy down the stairs in the cellar from the cellar fridge. Said KP then decided to spill oil all over the outside of the back. So he spent like 3 hours clearing that. And that was Monday. So...
At least you made him clean it up.
Oh, yeah, but there was no way I was going to clean it up. You make the mess, mate, you clean it up. But there I was, behind the bar on Sunday, and I just suddenly heard this, is there anybody from front of house? I fucked up. And I was just like, I was checking out a guest, and I went, just bear with me a second, please. And I just come around the corner, and I was just like, dude, what's wrong? He was like, Chef is going to kill me. And I was just like, why, what you done? And he opened the stairs, and I was just like, oh, okay. Well, it's an accident, mate. Just take a deep breath. I'll get the chef, and I'll let her know. And I went into the kitchen, and I was like, oh, chef, we got a problem. And she was like, what? And I just said, KP shot the gravy down the stairs. And she just couldn't even say anything. She was just like this. She was like, oh my God, I can't be doing this.
Because that was the Saturday, wasn't it?
That was the Sunday.
Oh, that was the Sunday, right before everyone has roast dinners.
Yeah, it was literally an hour before lunch service. And we just lost 10 litres of gravy stock.
So, how much Bisto did you buy?
We didn't, however.
Well done.
The gravy was very red winey. Let's just say it wasn't very well reduced.
So no, what you're saying is it wasn't red wine. It wasn't gravy. It was just red wine. You
Pretty
just pour in red wine.
It was getting there. It was just getting to that stage. But luckily, we had enough that we didn't have to worry about it.
Okay.
So because the weather was hot, because obviously it being at the time of recording the end of September and the weather's really nice. As opposed to where it should have been for the last couple of months. The weather's now nice, so it being warm, people aren't ordering roast dinners.
Okay, so you got lucky.
So we were fine, but then it was just like a case of, what are we going to do with this kid? And then the next day he dropped oil everywhere. And I was just like, if he does one more thing, that's it. You know?
He gone.
Yeah. It was like, chef walked in on Monday and she was just like, I'm going to eat my breakfast first before I deal with that because I am not... She was just like, I'm not dealing with that on an empty stomach. And I was just like, yeah, fair play. I've only had one coffee. That's why I'm not going to deal with it either.
Brilliant.
But yeah, apart from those slight mishaps, I've had a pretty good week.
So I like is anyone from front of house I fucked up? Because we've all been there.
Yeah.
Been there.
It was funny really because the housekeepers came down and the chef was just like, we need towels. And they took one look at it and they were going, we get you towels, but you throw those towels away. We're not washing them up. I was talking to them later and they were like, fair play for him sticking around because if that was me, I'd have been at the door and I'd just gone.
Okay, question for you. I'm going to be a bit controversial because you're saying it was a KP and it was a bloke.
Yeah.
What if it was a young girl KP? Would you have been more inclined to help? Because you said, nope, I left him to clean it up by himself. If it was a girl KP, would you have helped?
No.
No? Because chivalry wouldn't have been in there?
No, because it was like an hour until lunch and there was loads to do. You make the mess.
I like it. Equality,
Yeah, I'm an equal rights person. You mess up, you fucking clean it up.
Yeah. Fair enough, no. That's good. Well
yeah. I'm all down for that.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, other than that, nothing else to report really. That was my amusing week.
Fair enough.
So, how are you?
It has been a week.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, of course, you already know, because I sent you the pictures, but of course they don't know. But this week was the week where my bedroom ceiling decided it didn't want to be a ceiling anymore. It wanted to be a floor.
It did indeed.
And I used this joke at work and it killed, so I'm really hoping it's going to work right now. Okay. But it was like, I imagine my ceiling was doing stars in their eyes. Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be the floor. Boom. Because it waited until 3 a.m. Like, I knew it was coming down. You've got the pictures. You can put them up on this video. I don't care.
I'll put them up.
Yeah. I knew it was coming down because the crack had got bigger and bigger and bigger. Mm-hmm. And so I was just waiting for it to come down.
Yeah.
So then my question becomes, why do these kind of things wait until the most inopportune moments? Why is it 3 a.m. when I'm fast asleep in bed?
Yeah.
That my bedroom ceiling is like, and now my performance.
Yeah.
You know, well, it wouldn't do it whilst I'm at work or anything, would it?
It's the most dramatic, Ben. Yeah. It's your ceiling. What more do you want? It's taking after you. It's trying to be dramatic. Therefore, it's starting at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Now let me sing you the song of the floor. Boom. So I literally, that happened. Yeah. And I woke up and I was like, that's my ceiling. Yeah. And I sort of patted, eyes still closed, patted around my bed, patted myself. I was like, I can't feel anything on me. Turned my light on, looked across my bed. Bearing in mind, I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't see anything. So I turned my light on, looked across my bed. I couldn't see any rubble on my bed. So I was like, done the pat test. I've looked, can't see anything. That means it's all on the floor. Mm. It can wait till morning.
Yeah, and absolutely.
I just turned my light off and rolled back over. But then, of course, I couldn't really sleep because, of course, my mind was going, well, what if more of the ceiling falls down? Mm-hmm. You know, it's just a little bit now, but what if more falls down? What if more falls down? What if more falls down? And so I didn't really sleep that well for the rest of the morning. And then, of course, when I rocked up to work at 8:30, everyone was like, wow, you look really tired. I was like, really? Really? No shit, Sherlock. I've been up since 3. Why? What happened? My bedroom ceiling collapsed. And there were some people like, I wouldn't have come into work. I would have called in. I was like,
for what?
But this is the thing. Me and you, we're hard workers.
Yeah.
There are some, the amount of times especially when I was working in hospitality, the amount of people that would call up and go, I'm not feeling too well. And it's like, you don't even sound sick. You know, there was one, when I was working in the Purple Hotel, there was one night team member who would always call in sick the night after payday.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not being subtle. We all know what you're doing.
You're going out, you're getting bladdered, and you don't want to come in the next day.
Yeah. And because there was one team member at the Purple Hotel who turned around to me and she said, I hate calling in sick and you answering the phone. I was like, why? And she was like, you're not empathetic? Yeah. It's like, no. Because I now have to find someone to cover your shift.
Yep.
And if I can't find someone to cover your shift, as the manager, guess who gets to do it?
Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm now looking at a double shift. Thanks. So no, of course I'm not going to have empathy for you.
No.
Especially since you were fine yesterday.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, I can't come in. I've got a cough. It's like, fuck off, do you have a cough?
I'm dying.
You know.
Yeah. It's a load of rubbish.
It's absolutely load of rubbish.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So some people at work were like, I would have just called in. I was like, no, there's no point. And plus I've got so much work to do and I can't trust you plebeians to do it for me. I know what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So was that. And then, of course, there was the whole journey of my landlord, i.e. my dad, fixing said ceiling. So initially, his idea was just to plasterboard the ceiling without, ceiling as it is, hole in it, just plasterboard over it, done. And I kind of said to him, well, you're just adding more weight to a problem and everything. But he called someone round. He called a plasterer around to get a quote. And this plasterer supposedly said, yes, you could do it. But then the quote he gave my dad was too high. And I said to my dad, I was like, what do you mean he's too high? And he was like, well, he's quoted me nearly £1,000. I was like, right, okay. Yeah. And he goes, well, I've worked it out. It should only be about 500. I was like, okay, with what expertise?
Yeah.
It's great. I could go into a museum and go, that piece of artwork, it says it's 2 million, but it's a dot in the centre, so I think it's only worth 20 quid. Thank you very much. With what expertise? And he was like, well, there's this website that you can go on that looks up materials and everything. It was like, great. Yeah. And you're probably not taking into account labour and tax and costs and everything. Anyway, so he's like, no. So I've called in my other guy and I was like, no, please. You've called in Cowboy Builder, haven't you? Yeah. And for those who don't know, my dad has called in this Cowboy Builder a couple of times. So, for example, He paid him to reconcrete the front yard, and everyone would think that to reconcrete a front yard, you would dig up the old concrete, flatten it out, pour in the new concrete. Yes. No, this cowboy builder just poured the new concrete on top of the old concrete.
Yep.
So it's a whole cavalcade of screw-ups.
Yeah.
So he calls this guy in. He comes in and says, no, plasterboard, just plastering over it isn't going to work. You're going to have to pull the full ceiling down, which is what I said. So it's like, God, I'm agreeing with the cowboy builder. Am I wrong?
Am I the cowboy builder? Am I really the cowboy builder?
I'm agreeing with the bad guy.
Yeah.
This kind of thing. So he goes away. So he goes away to build a quote, and then he doesn't build a quote. He just turns up the following day with the equipment and starts unloading it into the front yard. And I open my curtains, and then because of course my flat's like halfway in the ground, so I open up my curtains, and there he is in the front yard just unloading the equipment. I was just like, ah!
There's a strange man in the front garden.
Anyway, I tell my dad, and he's like, oh, let me get changed, and I'll come try and talk to him. By the time my dad gets changed, he's disappeared, and he's then not answering his phone. So apparently my dad's ringing him all day long. He's not answering the phone. Anyway, I come back from work and all the stuff's gone. So I was like, either that's in my room, or he's managed to get hold of him and he's taken it away. Cool. I go speak to my dad, and he has managed to get hold of him, and he has taken it away. Before that, however, he tried to say to my dad, well, my stuff's already on your property. Why don't you buy it off me?
Your dad knows some stupid fucking people.
I don't know how your dad get. How is your dad a landlord? I mean, I do not know.
I don't know. Do you know what the hilarious thing is? Is his son is he's a carpenter by trade, but he has renovated houses.
Yeah.
And he didn't think to ask his own son his opinion until all this had transpired.
Oh, so he asked him after.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And he's just like, oh my goodness me. But anyway, my dad has reverted to the original plan. Well, his original plan of just putting a bit of board over it and dealing with it in the spring. So you'll be able to put that picture up as well.
And here's that picture.
Job's a good one. Other than that, I saw the most fantastic example of driving the other day.
Right, okay.
So, around the corner from my house, there's that little row of shops. Outside the little row of shops, there's a little bay of parking. This woman is going down the road. I'm behind her.
Yeah.
And there's only one parking space left.
Right.
And she overshoots it. And so she slams on her brakes.
Yeah.
This is the thing. She didn't even slow down. She didn't indicate. She just slams on her brakes. I pull up behind her. I give her a decent amount of space. But then she winds her window down and glares out the window at me. She's kind of like, I'm trying to
move the chair.
and I was just like, what's going on? Anyway, she doesn't stick her reverse lights on or anything.
Yeah.
She then proceeds to turn and try and drive into the parking space. So she's now perpendicular. So if that's the road, the pavement, she's driven into it, so she's perpendicular to the road, the pavement. So her back end is sticking out.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I haven't even moved. I'm like, what's going on?
Is this one of these prank shows?
It's the cameras. It's Ashton Kutcher about to break and pop out of there anyway. She glowers at me again, and I'm like, bitch, why are you glowering at me? I'm not the one who screwed up here. And then another guy comes from the other way, and he, when I've given her some space, he comes right up to her, and, oh,
God.
So anyway, she reverses out, and then this guy just pulls in.
What a legend. What a legend.
He just sweeps in. And then she, speeds away, and I was just like, what just happened?
That's crazy.
I
don't know how to process that. I literally don't know how to process that.
I didn't know how to process it either. I was so confused. And I was like, how have you screwed up a basic parking maneuver? How?
Yeah.
How?
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, anyway. But that was my week.
Wow. Either rains or pours in your place.
So shall we talk about the film that we've seen?
Yes, let's do that.
Let's do it.
So we've just been to see The Creator.
We have.
Do you want to do initial thoughts?
You can go first.
Okay.
I feel like we're going to be slightly different.
I don't know. I enjoyed this film.
Mm-hmm.
Pacing was an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there were parts that were very slow.
Uh-huh.
I felt it was trying to pack a lot of story in, but I don't think it went around it the wrong way. But I feel like there's for the record, normally, as you may have noticed, we're in the car and normally talking about it straight away from the cinema. It's the next day, so I have had time to process and see a couple of things online.
You've coloured your own point of view. God.
No.
Tainted.
I think
Dirty.
No. But it's made.
Unclean.
I'm not unclean. I had a shower. But these bits make a lot of sense. So there was parts of it where I felt like bits were being rushed over and then other bits weren't. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, this seems to be like a pacing issue. Mm-hmm. And I noticed this when we were in the cinema as well, that it came up and it was like a certificate 12A. Mm-hmm. Now, my understanding of it is that it was supposed to be a 15. Mm. So I wonder if they've cut out bits that have had maybe crucial plot points in.
Maybe.
I don't know if you noticed this, but I did notice it in one scene where somebody was dropping an F-bomb, but it was a different swear word over the top. His voice didn't... The ADR... you know where they do ADR?
Yeah.
They've put a different swear word in to maybe drop the certificate. So I wonder whether or not they've cut bits out that might have...
Are you talking studio
interference? Studio interference. It happens. You know, restore the Snyderverse. It does happen. It has been known to happen.
Yeah.
Overall, I enjoyed the film. This is the reason, because I want to talk.
Yeah.
Because I'm always really bad with names. Everybody knows this, so I'm actually trying to be professional. John David Washington. Mm-hmm. I felt like he was okay, but I felt like any actor could have played the character. I don't think he brought anything groundbreaking to the role.
Nope.
However, I want to talk about Madeline Una Voyales. Okay, I apologise about butchering the name. And if you've seen the trailer and the adverts, that's the little girl child. Okay. What a phenomenal performance.
Yeah.
And what even blew my mind was when I was looking her up on IMDb, this is her first ever acting job.
Wow.
It's her first movie, first anything. That's the only thing that she's got on IMDb. If she's this good now, I'd love to see what she's going to be in the next couple of years with a bit more training under her belt and things like that, a bit more experience. Yeah. She is one to watch for me.
Yes.
I think she was phenomenal, and the emotion that she put into this film was amazing.
Did you cry?
I did cry at one point, obviously, because I'm a sap. Gareth Edwards, the director, who has directed Godzilla and Rogue One. I love his direction. He knows how to use space and the dynamic camera angles he uses. The what's the word? Like the scale of things.
Right, yeah.
You know, like Godzilla and like Rogue One, you could tell things were like huge, and it's the same with like the thing in the poster that people see, like the weird little like wing thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away its name. I'm trying not to give away too many spoilers. But like you knew it was always there. It wasn't just like some weird speck in the distance that was suddenly appeared out of nowhere. It had scale and presence, and I feel like he does that really, really well as a director. Overall, I mean, I don't think it's going to be the best movie of the year, which I kind of hoped it was going to, because I had really high hopes going into this film.
Yep.
But overall, standouts for me were the direction and our actress. I felt like she was just phenomenal and took the biscuit for me. She is the standout of the whole film.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I've really got. Pacing, like I said, but I feel like there's probably studio interference. Your thoughts?
My thoughts, it was good. however, wasn't perfect. I agree with you on the pacing. You know, it was 2.5 hours long, and it felt long.
Yeah.
But it falls into the same trap a lot of films have recently fallen into. It's like, it was long. I don't feel it needed to be as long, but then you ask me what bits to remove, and I'm like,
Yeah. I felt exactly the same. I did feel the same.
It's like, it doesn't need to be that long. Okay, which bits do you remove?
Well, yeah.
You know, and that is, I think, its problem. It sort of plods along very slowly, and it could have done with just a bit more sort of, okay, get on with it kind of thing. Of course, you mentioned that the director has previously directed Rogue One, and I am adamant, I will die on this hill. He wrote this as a Star Wars film. He's then
wouldn't surprise
He's
me.
gone to Disney and gone, here's the next one, and they've gone, no. Because if literally put it in your mind, think about the characters and think, replace the child with Grogu, the main guy with the Mandalorian, and the bad guys with
Imperials. Yeah. No, I don't dispute that at all.
It is a Star Wars film. He is, and I will die on this hill. He can tweet as much as he wants, going, no, it was never supposed to be a Star Wars film.
Yeah.
He's wrong. I am telling him what he's thinking.
He even had like the chapter bits come up in the thing as well, which is very odd for a film. It doesn't always happen.
So I think it's a Star Wars film, but you know, even if it's not a Star Wars film, it's a decent sci-fi film.
I think so. Yeah,
and everything. What else was I going to say about it? There was something else I was going to say. There was one bit I didn't like about it, which is also why I think it was a Star Wars film, is the bad guys are comically bad. I'm not saying like they're idiots and slapstick and everything, they make fools of themselves, but it's like they're so bad, it's almost a parody of villains, which is why I think it would work better as a Star Wars film. Because as a Star Wars film, you've got the Imperial Order, you've got the Empire, blah, blah, blah. They will literally have no remorse, they will do what needs to be done. And of course, the bad guys in this have the same thing, and it's very jarring that there is no sort of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? But like literally, we've got this order, we must get it done, and they will trample over everything to do it. And it came across almost parody of a villain to me, which is why I also think it was a Star Wars film, because in this version, it's set in our universe, it's set in our world, you've got the nationalities that we identify with. And so it was like, wow, you're really painting this nationality badly. You can argue the politics of it till the end is nigh. But it would have worked much better as a Star Wars film, because you could switch that whole bit off and just go, the bad guys. It's movie villain kind of thing. I will second your comment about the child's acting, and I've got a great example for this. So there's a part where the main guy is crying over a flashback, and it's hilarious because like he starts thinking of the flashback, it cuts away from him, and then when it cuts back, he's got these huge tear tracks, but you don't see any tears. So obviously they've got a bit of water and gone pat 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 pat. Whereas she has a moment where she cries and tears are streaming down. She's got a snot bubble. She's got the little bits of drool like thing. You can see it in every kind of bit, and that you can't teach that. You can't.
That was pure emotion. And that's what made me cry. I was sitting there going, Ben, don't look at me now. Don't look at me now.
Damn it! I should have looked at you. But yeah, no. I think it was good. Wasn't great.
Yeah, I think it's that little bit is disappointing, because we seeing trailers and everything, knowing the director, knowing the your main star John David, whatever. I think that I had high hopes going into it. I think there was parts of it that were really, really good, and the concept of it was very clever. Obviously, it's about AI and everything, and say what you will about AI at the moment with everything that's going on.
But once again, swap AI out for Force, and boom, Star Wars film.
Yeah, exactly. I do think that maybe whether or not it was one of those ones that might have been had planned to be like a limited series of, say, maybe 6 episodes or something, and then they said, oh no, you can't have the budget to do that as a series, but you can do it into a 2.5
Yeah.
hour film.
But
or something.
even now thinking about it again, I'm still adamant it was supposed to be a Star Wars film, because if you look at the tanks in it, if you look at the cars, if you look at the modes of transport and the buildings, they are very Star Wars-esque.
Yeah. It is.
So-
I mean, it's about Asia and everything as well, and George Lucas has been very much on the front of that it was all based on like samurai and everything. And actually, one of the AI units was in The Last Samurai as well. He was in that. I feel like it was a good film.
I think we put it on a high pedestal, and it hasn't managed to reach it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the same with marketing and everything, isn't it? You sit there and you go, "Oh, this looks amazing. This looks amazing," and then it's just disappointing.
Yeah.
But it was funny actually when you were saying about pacing, how it was like very slow, and I said the same. But then I felt like the ending was like very rushed. I know it was like I know it was like a time limit situation, so they belt pacing.
Still, it was felt kind of a, oh shit, we've wasted 2 hours.
We've got 15 minutes left. Right, we'll speed this up, people. Come on.
Cliff notes. Give me cliff notes.
It was very much like that.
Someone gets knocked out and then they wake up and go, well, this happened whilst you were not.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So
final thoughts?
Yeah, let's do final thoughts.
Final thoughts. When a KP fucks up, just let them clean it up.
Yeah.
They gotta learn. They gotta learn.
Yeah. If it's their fault. It's their fault. I'm not there to baby them. You
are.
Well, I am, but I'm not when it comes to that much bloody mess. 10 litres of gravy, absolutely not.
When things go wrong in the house, it's always at the most inopportune moments.
Yes. Cowboy builders, don't use them, obviously.
Don't use cowboy builders. And if you find yourself agreeing with cowboy builders, look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself why.
Do you own a Stetson? Are you a cowboy builder? And the creator, it was a good film. Don't go in with high expectations. I feel like you'll probably enjoy it, have a better time.
As our old drama teacher used to say, just needed a bit of polishing.
It did need a bit of polishing. I would be interested to see whether or not in like a year's time or something.
There's an Edwards cut.
Yeah, there is like a director's cut, and it's like 3 hours long and it's a 15 instead.
Yeah.
I'd be very interested to see that and see if it's any better.
Yeah.
But yeah.
With that, comment down below. Have you had anything ever go wrong in your house at the 3 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah. Have you ever dropped 10 litres of gravy and then oil the next day? Have you seen The Creator? What are your thoughts? Let us know down below. We'd very much appreciate it.
And have you ever seen some horrendous parking? And I'm not talking about when people park across bays and people go with bits of trouble. But I'm talking real bad driving where you think, how did you pass your test?
Yeah.
Let us know down below.
Please do. And with that said, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, share with your friends, share with everybody you know. And if you're listening on Spotify, give us a 5-star review and comment down below. And with that, we'll see you in the next one.
Yep. Thanks very much, guys.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.